I respect it. I respect it. All
Woo!
right,
I'ma
Anwar.
try. I'ma try. You're gonna
All
get
right.
me in trouble, man. I see it already, but you know, I'm used to taking all the shrapnel. You know what I'm saying? I take
Nah,
all the hits in battle rap. Everything is my fault anyway, so it
nah.
can't get much worse, man. But I'm here, man. I'm here to answer any questions that you have, man. Like let's try to see if we can go through these questions without you getting me killed.
All right, I'm gonna get to it. Y'all share the space out there, everybody. You know what I'm saying? Let them know we're in here. All right, so the first question I'm gonna ask you, B, is right off the bat is we know you're a pivotal part of the success of the URL, but how did you get into battle rap?
Man, I'll say like this. Like I always been into hip hop in general, just growing up, right? So, you know, of course, battling or dudes doing ciphers is all a part of it. You know, how I got into battle rap, or well, at least this era of battle rap, like around the I would say like in the 2000s, in the earlier 2000s, like it was a big thing because dudes would battle to get record deals because you had like Rough Riders and you had Swizz Beats, and at that time like you could just be a good rapper and they would just bring you in the studio and actually create music around you. So guys would be outside battling on the corner for the opportunity to go link up with like you know, one of these big producers that were out. So I would see all this happening, and I, you know, I just loved it because I used to watch battles over beats, but then when I saw dudes start actually tailoring battles to each other outside on the street, that's when I kind of got interested.
Damn, that's incredible. Okay, okay. Well, you got interested into the truest form of the art form. This battle rap thing to me is one of the purest parts of hip hop, and y'all really upheld that, and y'all are pillars and instrumental into keeping hip hop alive. What made you partner with Smack and Chico?
Yeah, it's crazy, right? Because I linked with Smack during the Smack DVD days, right? But like early on when you know when we was doing interviews, but like just to kind of put you know run through it real quickly. Like I was already seeing guys battle outside. Like one of the first people I saw battling outside was like T Rex, J Mills, Shells, Den 10. These are like all guys from uptown in Harlem. They were all going around to each other's blocks battling Lux. Well, he was going by Pop Lux back then. But how I linked with Smack was Smack the first Smack DVD dropped, and I had like some artists that I was working with at the time, and one of them was Corey Guns. So I was trying to figure out a way to get him onto Smack DVD, and you know I just ended up running into Smack at a video shoot when he was actually interviewing somebody, and then you know we linked up the next day, did the infamous Corey Guns freestyle in the car, and then from that point we just you know started speaking and became good friends, and the rest is history.
Damn,
So
that's
that's how we linked
incredible.
with him.
That's
And then
incredible.
Chico went to school with Smack's cousin. I'm bugging. Chico went to Smack and Chico's cousin went to school with each other. So, you know, after Smack DVD was like kind of coming to an end, and we were trying different things like SmackTube, which was like a website, which was kind of like a layout like World Star. We were trying to figure it out because we knew that the DVD market was changing. There was a million DVDs in the marketplace, and you know, technology was you know was on our heels. So we were trying to pivot into the next venture, and that's when we started SmackTube. But that's when Chico came in because Chico's like a computer tech, so he had like some additional skills that we were lacking in certain areas, and you know once we all got together, you know we just never stopped working with each other.
That's incredible. Salute the Smack. Salute the Chico. Incredible. Y'all really did something legendary. Y'all really changed the culture with the Ultimate Rap League. What made y'all decide to build the URL TV app? How did that happen?
What made us decide to build the URL TV app like years before we did it, it was just we saw like we always had a bigger vision for battle rap, like from everything from the venues that we got it into. We always like, yo, we got to get in the Garden, or we got to get in Webster Hall, or we got to get in Irving Plaza, because back, if you remember the early battles that we did, they were in small clubs that held like 100 people because battle rap is niche. So we were always trying to figure out ways to increase the audience and get more visibility. Um, So then of course, we went to YouTube, but as time progressed, YouTube was slowing down the monetization. If you are like a URL fan from back in the days when we first started, 2010, if you noticed, you would see ads for Mercedes Benz, you would see ads for Pepsi, you would see ads from like major corporations, and they had a higher CPM rate or an ad rate. Where a CPM, for those that don't know, is what you get paid for every 1,000 views that you accumulate. And the CPMs were really high because those were big advertisers. But as time progressed, there was this big ad apocalypse. Not to talk for too long, but basically somebody took they YouTube was used to just blanket the ads on anything. So they just so happened to blanket the ad on a terrorist act where somebody got killed. So then they demonetized all of YouTube, and then they set all these regulations and guidelines. So when they came back, cursing and foul language fell under those guidelines. So now, when you look at battles, you get these cheesy ads like, "Hey, do you want to do real estate? If you get my book, I'll tell you in 15 steps how to buy a building." Like you get those kind of ads instead of like, you know what I'm saying? You get them type of joints instead of like real ads that can generate income. So we're looking and we're saying, look, we see that this is not going to be sustainable because battle rap is getting bigger. The MCs were requiring more money. We were going to different cities, states, and what was being generated just wasn't enough. So we said, you know what? We need something that we can have total control over where they can't, you know, monitor our language or the expression of the art form. And we also said, what if we wake up one day and they just say no more battle rap and they just erase the whole YouTube for,
Wait, I'm gonna stop you right there, Bees. I'm gonna stop you right there. I put out a tweet recently and I asked people what is going on with the decline of battle rap views. And a lot of the responses they said, and this is just the people talking, and I want to get your opinion on this. They were
Right.
saying that the URL app existing and y'all no longer dropping battles on YouTube at the frequency that y'all did was the reason for the overall decline of views on YouTube. How do you feel about that?
I think it's a myriad of different reasons why there is a decline. I could see that possibly being a reason because we are the algorithm for battle rap. So, like, when we would do these big battles and put them out, you would see the next selected video. So then other leagues could, like, um, strategize for releases around the same time that we would because when our videos are going off then it'll roll over into another video. So you know plus we put out the majority of the content. Like our output is like literally 7 to 8 times more than anyone else's. So I could see where that gap could kind of lead to a decline because if other people aren't putting out as much content, people are going online searching for it, and then they're just thinking that it doesn't exist anymore if they're not aware of the app. So that could be some of that could be true. Some of it also is just there being so many leagues, there's no real like order anymore. Like everybody battles everywhere all the time at any time, and that
That's a fact.
also kind of like definitely hurts things. So it's a couple of things, but I think that over time things will level out, changes will come. You meet challenges in any form of business that you're in, and this is just one of the one of the obstacles that you know we overcome as a culture. So I
Okay,
think
okay. Okay, well, speaking of overcoming obstacles, do you feel like that decline in battle rap views due to the app, supposedly, does that hinder the growth of creating new superstars in battle rap? Because if they can't get those constant major YouTube drops, how do we develop new stars?
I mean, I think, hmm, I I don't think that. I don't agree with that because I've looked over the last couple of years, right? And there's a lot of people that do battles now, right? And they have access to YouTube. And and I'm saying this in the most respectful way, but none of these platforms are creating stars. And when I mean stars, I don't mean that they are mega stars, but just people who have notoriety in the culture that could go on to be on a card that would be perceived as being big. Like all these years, we haven't seen anybody take a guy from 0 to 100. Now, of course, there's smaller platforms that the bigger leagues look to, and then they pull those guys up into their system, and then they build them up, and they put energy behind them. So of course, everybody comes from somewhere. There's a local league, and we need all the leagues to be able to find talent. So it's just like MMA or boxing. We go, we look, we scout, we find guys, we give them an audition, we put them out in front of the world, we take chances, and sometimes we get stars, and sometimes we get people that you don't like. But we can't be the only people doing that. We can't be the only people spending the money and putting them in front of bigger names to draw attention to them, doing stuff like Final Exam and the Proving Grounds and the Crucible and this and that, and bringing them in and putting them in one rounders before big events. No one else is taking those chances, and no one else has been able to develop anyone. So we're doing with this with guys that are living. The majority of them are on the app, right? And then if that was an issue, you have all these other platforms that have full access to their channels, and a lot of them have big channels. Some of them over 100,000, 200,000 subscribers, and they're not breaking any new artists. And they have YouTube. So why are people not watching it? If it's so available and these people are so good, why are they not watching those guys? That's something that you have to ask the viewer.
Mm, okay. Well, to push back on what you're saying, recently, salute to Hitman Holla. He had a what many deem as event of the year with Power Moves. The headlining battle did 1.5 million views in 1 week, and those are crazy numbers. Why can we say that with with the increase, like doing a million in 1 week, to me seems like there is a fan base there that wants to see YouTube drops. Is that true? Or how do you feel about that?
Of course they do. I mean, people want to see drops, and Hitman Holla is one of the biggest stars in the culture. So is Geechee. So when you combine two mega stars into one battle, that's the reaction that you're going to get. But if you look overall in the last few years, there's been a massive decline in battles that reach a million views. Period. Even throughout the year. But kind of like what you said, like, you know, you can't. On one hand, we can't say, oh, it's still there, and then oh, there's a decline. There's certain stuff that people are just gonna watch because if you have megastars in these spaces and they're showing up and the material is good and it's good battles, people are gonna watch it.
Okay, so speaking of people watching, what's the relationship with URL and Hitman Holler?
I mean, to my knowledge, it's cool. I don't know that it's any different. I mean, I don't speak to Hitman every day,
I
but
mean, I recently had a space, bees, and in the space, he strongly expressed his views on. You had an interview, and you had said that you said behave, right, and you talked
oh
about
God,
emotional maturity and stuff, and I felt that you were. I don't want to speak for you. Can you tell us what
right?
what was that about?
Nah, I mean, you gotta understand, man. Like that's just how I speak. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I don't think I said anything wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm guessing it's based on what I said in reaction to bars over politics. Like, because I think like around that time, like he went online and he said that bars over politics was being done to like stop his event or whatever. That nothing was going to stop that event. That event was being promoted since the weekend of Summer Madness, so it had legs already. It was a great event. There was nothing that was going to stop that event. So I just felt like him saying that, was just a little out of line. Now, I don't know if it was just battle rap banter, and I don't take those things seriously. But if somebody's asking me about it, I'm going to express how I feel, and what I said was, come on, like it's not like it was. I do battles all the time, basically. That's like somebody coming and telling you, like, yo, you can't hustle at this time. I got your workers, and you can't hustle on your block. Like you gotta wait and hustle at the time that I say you can. Come on, man. We all out here working, and it was a great opportunity to do the event, and it didn't have anybody that was on his event. It wasn't the same weekend as his event. It had nothing that was interfering with his event. Now I could see like if I went and I hired Geechee Gotti Rex and put all these guys all on one event, then people could kind of say like, oh, that's being done to sabotage his event. But it wasn't even on the same weekend. It wasn't. It was like 2 weeks. There was so many events that happened like over this season that were like 2 weeks apart from each other, and my event is no different. But it's like everybody else could do events whenever they want, take the names, flip stuff around, and it's cool. I do an event 2 weeks away from somebody else's with a whole different set of people, and then we still get demonized and placed as the bad guy. But you know what though? I'm not even taking it like it could have just been hype for him to to like add some fuel to his event, but like if I don't think anybody's above being checked. Like if I'm I told him to behave because I thought that was demonstrating bad behavior. If we're being honest, but like if I demonstrate bad behavior, somebody could check me. And if I believe that I was wrong or I said something that was like out of line or disrespectful, I'll gladly say, you know what, maybe I was bugging.
Okay.
Sometimes we all bug out. So
Okay.
you know what I mean. It wasn't like I wasn't
It
disrespecting
wasn't
him,
malicious.
and the only reason why I even said anything publicly is because he said it publicly. Like if he would have called me behind the scenes and be like, "Yo, Bees, what's up, man?" Like we would have spoken about it. You know what I'm saying? And I'd have talked to him about it. But like sometimes I have to say things now because I generally take the high road, and the high road leads us into trouble because then people create their own narratives with these stories, and then the next thing you know, URL's the bad guy. Why didn't I say anything?
Hold on, Bees. I
You know
got
what
to
I'm
give you
saying?
pushback. I got to
So
give you pushback because
yeah,
for a long time there's been rumors of URL scheduling events around the time as their competitors to ruin their events. What do you say to that? Are these just rumors, or why is that a narrative that's out there?
I don't know. I don't know. Like we do more events than everybody, right? So and listen, I promise y'all, I'm speaking humbly. We just do a lot of events. You know what I'm saying? Like we do a lot of events all the time. So there's gonna be times like I reschedule event like this summer. I rescheduled 2 different times just because other
Okay, tell us
people.
when you rescheduled for other people.
Um, one there was an event with Hollow and Ave, right? That there was that event.
Okay.
I had that date locked in with a venue, but that league announced it first, so I just switched the date because I know if I did it on that date, oh my God, URLs out to sabotage. It's so disrespectful. It's so foul and jealous. So I changed the date.
Okay.
Then,
So they announced first, and y'all changed the date
right,
out of
they
respect for
that
their
I
event.
changed the date, right?
Okay.
So I was like, all right, I'm gonna go with a whole nother date. So I deaded the venue, lost a little deposit. So you know what? I'm not gonna do it. I don't want to go. I don't want to do that because I know that they're gonna say, oh, this is done maliciously, and then it's gonna be this big campaign. The blogger's gonna pick it up. So I said, all right, I'm gonna chill. Then the next time, here it comes. King of the Dot. That date. I had that date.
Okay. Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
And y'all changed y'all date for King of the Dot.
Switched the date. Cause then same thing. Oh, they're just mad because they have some of the URL guys and they're gonna try to attack them. You know, they come up with these conspiracy theories. Anything that we do. So I changed that date. Right then, I
Okay.
switched to Louisiana.
That's right. That's right.
Goddamn hurricane. I get a hurricane comes, right? I I'm like, oh shit, And people don't understand, like, it was so difficult, right? Because even though like they got the streets clear, it's still Thursday night, right? I'm flying 20 people to Louisiana, to New Orleans. Now I don't know if the streets are going to be clear, if the power is going to work, if the streaming is going to work. Yeah, the streets are open, but did the internet get knocked out in the storm? Then all the people get there, right? Then we still have to do the battle, and then we can't stream. So then we lose money. And then guess what happens? Everybody wants to get paid. Nobody wants any understanding. And then the next thing everybody's like, oh, that's foul. URL didn't pay the guys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, that's
Yeah.
crazy, man. They had them perform and they didn't want to pay them. Yo, that's crazy. That's not their fault. So I made a executive decision. I said, let's move it to somewhere where we know the internet's going to work. It's going to be people are going to get to battle, and we moved. We had to move. I can't like it's too short of a time span between Thursday and Saturday to make a decision in the market when there's flooding and I'm looking on TV and the floods are up 6 feet tall. I can't take that chance.
Okay, you
So
know what?
people
I
don't
respect
understand.
that. I respect that, Bees. I'm gonna accept that as an answer, but I got a different question for you. There's rumors, and there's another narrative that's out there that you paid media and control the output of their content. Is there any
Oh my!
validity to that?
Before I even get into that, Outside 3 dropping tomorrow on the URL TV app. Become a member today for just $7.99 at urltv.tv. Make sure you tune in. And Loaded Lux versus Rum Nitty dropping tomorrow on the URL YouTube channel. Now, what was the question? I had to do that
Nah,
shameless
nah,
plug.
that was smooth. The question is, there's rumors out there, and salute the app gang, by the way. I know we deep in here, but there's rumors that you paid media and to control the output of their content. Is that narrative also another false narrative?
That's false, bro. Like, think about the three biggest media outlets that's out there, right? Which is
Jay
15 Minutes
Black.
of
Okay,
Fame,
okay,
Uncle Ra, right? It's my
right.
brother. Uncle Ra knows my daughter. He's been around my family. You got Knowledge to God. He's been around the
Hip hop is
fam,
real. Okay, okay.
right? And then you got Jay Black Champion, right? You
Shout out
had
champion.
Henny Man, and shout to Henny Man.
Trappers,
You
we
know what I'm
here.
saying?
Let's go.
Right, he's working with us too. So I had like the four major media outlets. At any time, did they ever stop covering any other leagues? Go
Mm,
look at the history of the entire time of over the years, and tell me if they were not covering other leagues. That is such a false narrative. I know where it comes from. It comes from that weird outlet that claimed that there was it was one of the guys, he got his emotions hijacked and he went online and started saying some things that weren't true, and he got emotionally manipulated into believing that that was the case, but there was actually never any evidence. And then when I went online and put up a $10,000 bounty to show the proof that I did this or told this so-called outlet not to cover, everybody runs to the mountains, gets quiet. Nobody got nothing to say.
So there was never
Everybody
any
just
proof
pretends
that
like
they came up.
everybody just pretends like it didn't happen, and they go quiet, and then they keep the narrative. And some of that is my fault. I take accountability because I don't step up and argue and mind wrestle with all these people on the internet about what I did. Oh my God, they paid the media. That's just so foul. All these dudes making these front. Damn, URL's done it again, man. Oh, they're so jealous. Yet no one has any information. Now, if I'm the guy who's delivering the information, I'm going to show the information. He's making blogs and standing on it. They blocked my league from getting coverage, and then have no evidence. Then once it's proven that there's no evidence, nobody takes any accountability for it. Nobody apologizes for making a statement that wasn't true about our company, and then we got to wear it.
Okay,
You
so
know what I'm
so
saying?
no
So
evidence was
yeah,
made.
nah, but that
Okay,
shit ain't. Yeah, that shit is dead, man.
okay.
Look at all the outlets. They've all remained covered. While Jay Black was working with Caffeine, being the host every week, and had a show up there, he covered every single league.
Salute J
Henny
Black.
Man covered every single league.
Salute
Knowledge
Henny
is
Man.
at every event. Uncle Roz
Salute
at
knowledge.
every event. So that shit is false. Don't
Okay,
believe any of that shit. That
okay,
shit is fake.
okay.
Yeah.
So look, y'all did 8 events this year. Redemption, Smack Volume 11.
I think it's 10, man. I think
It's
it's 10.
10? Wait, let me run
Yeah, I
it
think
down. You
it's
tell me
10.
what I'm missing. Redemption, Smack Volume 11, Civil War 5, Gnome 14, 2 Nexus, KVQ Summer Madness, Bars Over Politics, and Outside 3. My
Right.
question here, go ahead.
Yeah. Good. I'm listening.
Okay, so my question here is y'all did 8 to 10 events this year. Who is your
Right.
competition? Do you have competition?
I again, man, this is a dangerous question. See, this is what I'm talking about. They don't respect other people. Respect other world. They don't respect other guys' contributions. This and that. Listen, I don't. I never compete with other people. We compete with ourselves. You know what I'm saying? I think one of our biggest problems is there's a certain expectation that comes with URL that people hold us to. There's a higher standard. Like some people could do cards that we can't get away, that we can't do, and some people could do things that we can't do. And get away with it without a problem. I mean, I think there's other people and other platforms that are doing great things, but I don't really see any not in that way. That's just how I feel. But this is hip hop, right? So I just
Right.
stand on what I believe, and I just don't believe that there's anyone. I mean, the numbers demonstrate themselves. Like if you look at, I don't want to say anything, but like if you look at like who's out there putting out events, there's people that are doing great events, but they're doing maybe one event a year. We're doing 10. You know what I mean? That's a big difference. That's a lot of groundwork. That's a lot of promotion. That's a lot of work. So, you know,
Okay.
there's definitely a difference.
You real good with these answers, Beasley. All
I
right.
mean, shit. Look, listen, one last thing. Outside 3 tomorrow, Christmas Day on the URL TV app. But also, like last year in 2023, I think like on YouTube, like the most battles that dropped from one of the platforms is like maybe 27 battles, and then I believe the number 2 and number 3 platforms it was like 16 or 17. In 2023, we shot 139 battles.
Jeez.
Okay, so basically, if you combine all of that together and doubled or tripled it, it still doesn't equate to the amount of output that we were able to put out, and a lot of that is due to the app. You know what I'm saying? We put all that funding directly back into the culture the best way that we can, and we manage it to try to make sure that everybody has opportunity. So just
Okay,
wanted to
I
say that.
respect it. All right, so one thing I've observed business wise, this is more of a business question than anything. Battle rap is the only industry where you can experience a brand uh, at a competitor. So, for example, like you can't go to Wendy's and ask for a Big Mac. You can't go to McDonald's and ask for a Whopper. But in battle rap, it'll be URL talent at another event. And a lot of the cards that have happened this year have been URL talent packed on the card. How does URL feel
Mhm.
about that?
I mean, yeah, it's gonna happen, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? There's gonna be guys happening, but I mean, people know the source of it. I mean, there's been some great battles that have come out of it. So you know what I mean? Um, the culture wins, but we're always working. You know what I'm saying? And we got a lot of great battles too with our talent. But I think honestly, I just think like if every just imagine, right? Like if every league went to the links that we do to develop new talent, right? Like everybody went out to the smaller platforms, found new guys, brought them in, brought them up, had them like come up through the rankings and taking them from like obscurity to megastars. And everybody had like 5 to 10 or more like guys that were at the top of the game that could like sell a stream and pack a building. And all of them could kind of face each other. Like one league could face another league because there's going to be 10 to 15 guys that don't battle on the other platform. It would make battle rap so much more interesting instead of people just waiting for URL to develop the talent, then come and want to utilize them. And then if we have certain people under contract, then they're blocking the battles. They're not letting the guys rap. Oh, they're trying to stop their progress. Instead of just looking at the other outlets and saying like, yo, why is it 5, 10 years you guys have been in the game and you can't develop anybody? You're not like there's no stars coming from your platform. Like, wow, how is that possible? Like, what is it that you're doing wrong? Where are you guys missing the mark? Other platforms, you know, do great work. We do great work, right? And then sometimes we're not perfect. And I'm not saying that we are perfect, right? Because there's mistakes that we make. We all make mistakes, but that same level of accountability has to be held to for everybody. It can't just be us when we make a mistake and it gets magnified. Like everybody makes mistakes. Everybody falls short in one way or another. So.
Okay, I respect it. One way that you did not fall short that I want to congratulate you on is the fantastic collaboration y'all had with Netflix. Big salute. That's a major step for the culture. How did that collaboration even come together?
Um, shit. I got good relationships. You know what I mean? So Jesse Collins is my man. Jesse Collins also does the BET ciphers, and he was one of the guys who was instrumental, along with a good friend of mine, Breeze, from BET, which enabled us to get like free. You know, when we had Ultimate Freestyle Friday, and when you saw different MCs from URL on the ciphers and stuff like that. So I've always had strong relationships with like big platforms like BET and VH1 and Hot 97, and I've always been a proponent of trying to open the doors and bring battle rap and the talent within battle rap so that they can be more visible. Um, he's also the producer of Rhythm and Flow, so once they had a battle rap segment, they brought Smack in to be the host of that, and we've been doing it every season. So, this most recent thing is they were launching the season. So, Smack's on it. You can go to watch it on Netflix right now. He's on there with Eminem, Royce, and Lotto hosting the battles, for the new talent that's on the show. And then, we always pushing like, yo, we need to get some of our guys here to perform because Lotto was performing, and Ludacris and different people that were on the show this season. So why not have battle rap there too?
That's fire. We got to salute J2, the new king of URL Netflix. You know what I mean? Put that out there. Um, One
Shout
thing,
out to J2.
shout out to J2. One thing I would be remiss if I didn't address it. This young man is somebody who I've done great business with in battle rap, and I think a lot of people revere and respect. I'm pretty sure you've heard about this Chef Trez situation that happened at Netflix. And I want to ask you, from your perspective, exactly what happened. What we understand, based on the blog that happened recently, is that uh, he was in advance given a chance to list the people that he was attending with, and he listed them. Came to the event with those people, and then there was issues with him going on stage with those people, and he decided, because he moves off principle, and we respect and love that about Trez. He decided that he would. Not go on stage and stay with his people. What do you understand about that situation, and how can we get that rectified? Because we all love Chef Trez.
Yeah, yeah, nah, we got love for Chef Trez too, man. I mean, it's yo look most of the time, man. Like I don't even like addressing this stuff. Like I don't like because it's like a never ending cycle, right? And it's just like a lot of times where I take the high road is because like when I say things, even when I point out the evidence, people just don't want to accept the truth. And I understand that because I'm the league owner, and then you have the talent. I mean, for the most part, what Chef Trez said, I could see it from his vantage point. But where I do think that he fell short in explaining the story is he left out a big part of the story, and I think the difference is in the details. One, in terms of him putting his man on the list, we had like an open chat, and you can ask the other MCs. So he probably dumped his list in the chat. I'm not looking at his list to even know who he's sending. It was like an open chat with us and the organizers of the event. So the lady was like, "Yo, put your guests in here," and I was telling the guys, "Yo, dump your guest list in there." So I didn't look at his list like that. In terms of like, I don't even know the guy. The guy that's his friend, I've met him before on the phone, but I've never met him in person. So I don't know what he looks like. I don't know him. I'm not even thinking about him. That shit was Ass Twerk and Capo. That shit was J2. That shit was like summer madness in there. That shit was packed out. That shit was like 1,500 people. It was crazy. So there's a lot of moving parts. There's people in the building. There's industry folk. Like I'm in there focused on trying to get the best outcome. Like I'm not paying attention to details like that. So as far as like his man being around and us knowing or whatever the case may be, I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't brought to my attention until later in the night when we were about to go on stage. The guys backstage.
Hold on, Bees, we can't hear you.
Just
Your
tired of
sig.
like I'm just tired of like people like coming around us when they feel like they have some type of grounding, flipping on us. You know what I'm saying? Or coming around for the opportunity and the visibility, and then going on the internet the next day or that night and saying like all this crazy shit about us. Like that shit is ending. That shit is over with. Like that shit is whack. So what I did was I saw Chef Trez. I pulled him. This is the part that he's leaving out. Like I pulled him to the side privately. I have immaculate emotional control. I spoke to him calmly, and we weren't, as he said, we weren't screaming and yelling. I just said, "Yo, listen, is this your man?" You know what I'm saying? He's like, "Yeah, he is." I said, I'm just saying, it's kind of crazy that he's gonna, because we were backstage about to go on to the main stage for the performance. So it's kind of crazy that he says all these crazy things about us, and he wants to stand on stage around Smack. That shit is kind of wild. You know what I'm saying? He's like, "Oh, Bees, nah, he doesn't talk about you. He doesn't have an issue with you guys. He has an issue with certain people within the company." And I said, okay. I said, but I don't like certain things that he said because he had said something like a week prior that rubbed me the wrong way. But there's a million other tweets out there. I'm sure they'll resurface, after this interview of him saying like crazy stuff about us and staff and the company. So I was like, so I'm talking to Chef. So before the one thing that he's not saying either is I never put him against the wall like, yo, look, either your man can't, you don't rap if your man goes on stage. I didn't even get to that point. As soon as I said, they said, you know what, Bees, I'm just not feeling this, man. I'm gonna leave. So I'm like, yo, Chef, chill. You know what I'm saying? It's not that serious because it was like 5 minutes. They was literally mic'd up, like ready to walk out on stage. So I'm like, yo, just chill. It's not that serious. But I had to ask you. Nah, Bees, I'm good, man. I'm not doing it. This and that. So I'm like, yo, Chef, chill. It's me talking to you. Like we had a good relationship. And we showed Chef love. You know what I'm saying? Like he had Av this year. He had Tay Rock a week before that. He's probably one of the most booked artists on URL. So I was like, just chill out, Chef. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like he starts to walk away from me. So I put my hands up like just to stop him, like where like like in the bends of your elbow. But it was nothing, it wasn't aggressive. It wasn't an aggressive conversation. It was like a brother conversation, like, yo, Chef, chill.
Okay.
Like I'm trying to keep it low. His body language, nah, I'm good. So what he does is he starts talking over me to ease because they asked that we have another person there just in case anybody for any reason got sick or didn't make it. So he's like, yo, Ease, you got your rhymes? And then Ease is like, yeah. He's like, yo, you up? And I'm like, yo, Chef, chill. It's not that. As your man can. So I said, your man can go on stage. It's cool. Like I told him that. So then Smack saw what was going on. So he came over. He's like, yo, Chef, what's up? Talk to me, man. He's like, yo, Chef, that shit ain't about nothing. Your man is good. He can go on stage. Now, mind you, his man wasn't even around. He was aloof to what was happening. He was all the way down the hallway. So it was only me, Chef, and Smack standing in that section of the area having a conversation. The only way that other people knew is when he raised his voice to tell Ease that he wasn't doing it and started to remove the microphone and take off his credentials. So Smack was like, yo, Chef, let me talk to you. And then Chef just turned around and Smack said, yo, you going to walk off on me in mid-sentence? You're not going to talk to me? And Chef walked out the door and let the door slam. He didn't even wait for his man. He walked out by himself. His man stayed in the building. He didn't even know what happened and said, yo, fellas, do you want me to run outside and get him and bring him back in? And I said, nah, it's cool. Because Ease was already there and we had to go on stage. It's like we don't have time for him to go out, have a conversation, to talk to him, to try to convince him to go back. So we just went on stage and did the show. And then that night, he goes on the internet and goes out. I'm not going to say verbatim because I don't remember. I don't know exactly what the tweet said, but it was something to like, I would never betray a friend for opportunity. But what he's not saying is I never even got the words out to say either your friend goes or you don't rap, right? And I don't know if it's his manager or his friend. I didn't even know that managers are mandatory to be on stage when someone's rapping. You know what I'm saying? I come from the music business. The manager stands on the side and watches the artist perform and handles the business. So I didn't even know that had to be a thing. You know what I'm saying? But he was never put in a position where he said, yo, you can't rap if your man goes on stage. We didn't even get that far. And we told him numerous times, bro, it's cool. It's not that serious. Your man can go on stage. He opted to leave. That's what he's not saying.
I understand that, and I appreciate your perspective. And everybody, it's a crazy time. We're not gonna act like we're not in a crazy place in life, and there's a lot going on, and
Mm-hmm.
stress, and a lot of things going on right now. And these are real times. And
Right.
there's different ways to handle situations. But I think that as fans, we would love to see that reconciled, and communication really solves a lot. So we do
Yeah,
hope.
yeah, yeah. It's not right. So like, I just my thing is like I hate like internet talk. Like I hate that shit, man. Like that shit is disgusting to me. Like we all men, right? And we know each other. We're cool with each other. URL never spoke on the incident. After it happened, we didn't say a word about it. We acted like it never happened. He put it in the public with the tweet. Oh, betray a friend. So we still didn't say anything about it, right? He hit me up a couple of days later on text, right? Because if we're telling a story, I like nobody got a deposit because it's not how this works. This is an industry event, so you know. I know a lot of guys, their first interactions in dealing with business and being paid for their talent is through URL or battle rap, where it's you get your money as soon as you get off stage type of thing, right? And I was explaining to him like, yo, bro, like this is different. It's going to be a certain amount of business days after, there's paperwork and things you have to sign before you get paid. So he asked for an advance. There was no advance. So I personally gave him an advance because he asked me for it. You know what I'm saying? So, in all due respect, he hit me and acknowledged that. You know what I'm saying? He said, "Yo, I know you gave me an advance. Whatever we have to do to work it out." You know what I'm saying? So I ended up seeing him at Tay Rock's event, and I spoke to him, and I said, "Yo, we'll speak." You know what I'm saying? We'll figure it out. But at then, it was still like a week removed, so I didn't know what was going to happen. And the reason why I didn't speak to him that day is because he battled that day, and it was a battle rap event. So like I'm not gonna bring this whole energy before this man is about to rap on stage for one, and two, it just wasn't the place to have that type of conversation with people around. So that's why we didn't speak. Could I have called him a couple of days later? Yeah, I could have, and he could have called me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, being that he had a deposit and all, but he didn't call me and I didn't call him. So it's not like he was texting me or hitting me and I'm dubbing him and we didn't have a chance. We just didn't have a chance to talk. It was all new and there was no card playing that he was going to be on. So it just wasn't the time for us to talk. So I'll take accountability and say, yeah, I could have called him, that Monday after Rock's event. But he didn't call me. I didn't call him. I'm busy working. I'm sure he has things going on that he's working, and he battles a lot. He battles pretty frequently. So he
But,
wasn't calling me, and I wasn't calling him.
but hopefully in the
And I didn't.
future we can make that call happen. You guys can. Communication is everything in terms of rectifying relationships. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, yo, listen, nobody got threatened, nobody got touched. It was, you know what I mean? It was just, I just felt like those were certain details that people needed to understand because I saw online people like, damn, man, they could have told him that wasn't the way to do it. But like, you could tell your story, but you got to tell every part of the story, bro. You can't just tell that and leave out those big gaps in the story because that makes all the difference on how somebody will perceive something. You know,
I understand completely, and I
you know
appreciate
what I'm
you.
saying? In terms of and one other thing I want to clear up too, like he said, Smack didn't speak to him. Of course, Smack is not going to speak to him because the last time Smack tried to speak to him, he turned his back and walked out the door with damn near a microphone on his chest before he was about to rap at a big event where we're connecting with bigger platforms. So of course Smack is gonna feel away. So they saw each other. He didn't walk up to Smack and say, "Yo, Smack, what's up?" And Smack didn't walk up to him and say, "What's up?" So they just kind of saw each other and avoided each other. So it's not like Smack played him, like he tried to speak to Smack and Smack dissed him, and it's not like Smack spoke to him and he dissed Smack. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to clarify that as well. You know what I'm saying? Because it's people have this whole thing in their mind of how things were, and that's just not what it was. You know what I'm saying?
I
So it's just
understand.
like, yo, we never spoke about it. And then the whole shit with the battle, You know what I'm saying? Like I sent him the promo material because I was gonna put out Chef Trez and Swamp, which again shows like we're not harboring any feelings, right? We're putting it on YouTube. So I sent him the promo material, not even thinking that there was like some big issue. Like I said, we were gonna talk. So I just sent him the promo material, which was like a flyer and a trailer, and I sent the same thing to Swamp. I look up on Twitter, it's like I don't care about a drop with a middle finger to us. So it's like, yo, bro. Again, Smack sees it. I said, yo, listen, we're not even gonna engage in disrespect. All Smack said was, yo, I was about to put this battle out. I saw something disrespectful on Twitter that I didn't like, so I'm switching to a different battle. That's all he said. He didn't disrespect Trez, and that's all that happened. So I mean, it's not even a big issue. I don't even know why we're here, why this shit is even being discussed. Nobody was touched. There was nobody cursed at anybody. Nobody ran. You know what I'm saying? It is like, what is the purpose in even telling that story?
I do understand what you're saying, and I understand your perspective, his perspective. I just want you to understand that as fans, we hope that there can be communication and resolution. You feel what I'm saying? Life is short.
Yeah, of course, of course, it's It can be communication. You know, I'm telling you this because you asked me about it, and it's just a time where like we live in an information age, and it's like when people say something and you don't respond, you're automatically guilty. And we took the high road for so long, not righting the wrongs or telling the entire story from our perspective, so that there's like a way for people to actually evaluate something and make a decision on who they felt was wrong or right. So then it's just always URL is the bad guy.
You do take the high road in a lot of situations. Why is that?
I just feel like oftentimes, like people have made up their mind in their decision, so you're not going to change it. So it's like, what is the purpose in even engaging with people? Because then it's like it doesn't stop. Because then I say something, then the guy turns around, then he has to tell part two and part three and all these other different things, and then now you're you're going back and forth with somebody over something that's minuscule. This is a light story. Nothing happened. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just
Yeah,
telling the parts that were left out of the story since we're here. I never spoke about it. We never put it out on the internet. You know what I'm saying? He did.
yeah. Yeah, and y'all responded. Speaking of the event, y'all had Capo up there battling New Jersey Twerk. It seems like y'all have started to really invest into the Crucible guys. From your perspective, from the company's perspective, which one of the URL guys of all the classes, who do y'all feel is next up?
I mean, there's a couple of guys. You know what I'm saying? I like what Capo's doing. I like Klutz. I like Eunice. Um, shit, man. I think everybody that we've been working with over the last couple of months has some great potential. You know, it just takes time for people to develop. You know, so
And
like
what's your
we're
plan in terms of development? What's your plan for the
our
Crucible?
plan is just more battles, more consistency with the guys, and just continuing to push them until people catch on. Like people have to understand the reason why a lot of the guys caught on earlier on in URL is because there was only like 3 events a year, 2 events per year. So people looked forward to those events, so there was a high level of concentration on who was on those cards. But now that there's so much going on, you know what I mean? There's so much for people to watch. It takes a little bit longer. But I do think in terms of development, we're ahead of the pack.
I agree. I think y'all doing an incredible job with the Crucible process. Um, Speaking of the Crucible and Battlers, tomorrow, Christmas Day, App Gang is getting the entire outside 3 card. App Gang, y'all know what to do. Support, comment, watch, and also for the YouTube fans, y'all getting Loaded Lugs versus Rum Nitty. What made y'all decide to drop what I think, and I think most people agree, Loaded Lugs versus Rum Nitty is the battle of the year. Salute the Rum, salute the Lux. What made y'all decide to drop that on Christmas Day?
Cool. Well, you know what I'm saying? We shot that battle. Shout out to the app gang because without the app, that battle would not have been able to happen. I felt like, of course, we serviced them first, and they've had it for a good 5 months or whatever. But I think like it's one of the most important battles of the year in terms of lyricism. I felt that Lux and Rum did a great job, and they put on a great show. Got two different styles of lyricism, and I just feel like it's one of the most competitive battles, or the most competitive battle that happened this year in terms of like what battle rap is. I think it's like the best battle that took place this year. So we said, you know what? It's Christmas time. People want that nostalgic feel. Let's give them something. So we delivered the Outside Three, which is a bunch of new battles that people haven't seen, and then we got Loaded Lux and Rum Nitty, which is like the most lyrical battle of the year.
Mm. Speaking of lyrical battles, I think you and I got a classic. How do you feel about Rum Nitty versus Eunice?
Yo, that yeah, that battle was crazy, bro. Like that man, like Rum Nitty. It's just again, it's like a clash of two styles of MCs that are like lyrically advanced. You know what I'm saying? You have the veteran in Rum Nitty, and then you have the newcomer in Unison. I just feel like they both just delivered on a high level, man. I think it'll definitely be talked about. Like even Old Red and Chilla's battle was just out of this world. You know what I mean? Those are two battles that I really liked that were on the card. T Top did his thing. I think everybody really showed up. You know what I'm saying? And really put on. I mean, I'm happy with the battles and I like them a lot. I'm pretty sure people will enjoy them tomorrow when they drop. And
We gotta shout out the unsung heroes behind the scenes, guys like JB, BC. It looked like the visuals were really different this time around. How did that team that you have? You know what I mean? Are you proud of the production team? Because I think they're a huge part of making these battle drops such a success.
yeah, definitely. I mean, shout to JB and BC and all the guys that work within the URL production team. I think they did a good job capturing these battles visually. They sound great. They look great. And it's just it's a continual progression, and I like what we have, and we'll be back at it in January with another card. That's why you got to get the app, man. I'm thinking about shooting it like getting it out by this time next month, the next event. So like if you get the app right now, yeah, this is a shameless plug.
Let's go.
You're gonna get two events for $7.99. If you buy it tonight or tomorrow, you'll get if we get this out, you'll get two events for $7.99, which is kind of crazy. It's like $4 for an event. So it's like, y'all want me to charge $50 or $60 or $7.99? Which one is you want?
Yeah, I
You know what I'm saying?
respect that. I respect that. I respect that. I want to tell you this though. We're on Twitter Spaces. This is a platform that was put together by people like Doc, who's Eunice's manager, Tati, Battle Rap Bum. These people created this outlet, and I was a minor contributor in something that already existed before I came here. And Eunice comes from the Twitter Spaces. What would you say to other? There's a million other Eunices waiting for their turn. What would you say to those guys who do audio battles and can see a kid like Eunice making his way to the NBA of battle rap? Would you tell them to keep going? Would Are you impressed by Eunice? Do you feel like he's the leader of the new guys?
Yeah, definitely, man. And like I said, like technology plays a part in everything. And when spaces came out and people within the battle rap community started taking advantage of it and utilizing it in different ways, it's great to see these kids use it to provide opportunity for themselves and get themselves out there. Before, you would have to go and do an audition in person, but if you battle online for a while, you can expedite that process. So it's dope just to see people using these tools to advance themselves. And yeah, if you out there and you working, keep working. You know what I'm saying? We're always looking for new talent. We're always trying to develop new talent. And you know, if you have that talent, try to get an audition, or make that noise that you need to make so that we can come and present an opportunity to get you on the stage.
Let's go. I want to ask you. This is a fan question. Um, they noticed that there was no uh, traffic this year and there was no volume this year. Where does URL stand on those two brands?
To be honest, there was a volume this year. It just wasn't a good volume. That was when Ocho Cinco came through and pulled up.
Mm,
That was fire. We
mm.
had we had some good
You
battles
right.
on
You
there.
right. You right. So then
That's what
traffic.
I'm
Why we ain't
saying.
get
Like we
traffic?
do, we I was talking to KG about traffic. You know what I'm saying? It just the timing was a little off. You know what I'm saying? We'll get back to it. You know what I'm saying? But like, there was. I mean, I shouldn't say that. There was some good battles on that first volume. There was a few good battles, but like, if I'm just being honest, I wasn't pleased with that particular show. You know what I'm saying? And I can be honest with that. But like after that, everything was fire. Like if you got the app, go check out Nexus. Them two Nexus battles, both of those battles was
Crazy.
crazy. Like both of those events are crazy. So like if you're new to the app or you signing back up to the app, like you could watch Nexus tonight. Like those two events were crazy. Bars over politics, crazy. Like Summer Madness, crazy.
Gnome, crazy.
Crazy. So there's like a bunch of events that you guys can watch. Plus, you can go back years. There's events on there with Chess and Geechee Gotti and different people battling that you just haven't seen. So it all lives on the app. So you gotta make sure you go on there and check it out.
Okay. URL did a Twitter Spaces earlier this year. Are we going to get more of that? Because I think it was really positive fan reaction to y'all communicating directly with the people. Will we get more URL Twitter Spaces?
I believe so. I gotta talk to Nels. She puts all that stuff together, and I mean, once it gets it rolling, shout to Jay Black. We'll definitely do it. I don't know if we're gonna do it like so often, you know what I'm saying? But once in a while, we got to adapt with the times, you know what I mean? And that was one of the reasons why I came on tonight, you know what I'm saying? Because I was kind of resistant to coming in here, but like,
Kinda.
you guys, I know you had to hound me, like, yo, come on, bees, come on, come on. So, I'm gonna try to do more stuff like this when I can, you know what I mean? Just to,
We
yeah, just
appreciate
to,
you. We
just
appreciate
to connect with the people a little bit better, you know what I mean? And shit, give some perspective to certain things or questions that they may be asking about.
we appreciate that, and I appreciate you because you've done so much to help me develop my brand and just the guidance and the knowledge, the wisdom that you impart on me all the time. You really support and is selfless, and I appreciate you to the fullest. I think you're a genius, and just
Appreciate
as
that.
the whole culture know, there'll be a lot of hate, but there's a lot of love out there too. Don't ever forget the love. You feel me,
Oh,
Beasley?
nah. I gotta. I accept the love. I accept the hate. I accept the good, and I accept the bad. I just want the same level of outrage for everybody. You gotta stop the selective outrage, man. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's
Yeah.
perfect,
Okay.
man. We trying, man.
I,
We put on cars. We go. You know what I'm saying? They'll say, "Oh, we don't like it." And then the shit happens and it's good, everybody gets quiet. You know what I'm saying? Or somebody said something, they misstep, there's no evidence, they get quiet and they run in the mountains, and then we don't hear from them no more, and they don't take accountability for what they say.
Beasley,
You got to stop that shit. That shit got to stop, man. We
Beasley,
get big,
Ultimate
man.
Madness. My final question.
Ultimate
Ultimate
madness,
Madness.
ultimate.
Are we gonna get an Ultimate Madness with all the Crucible guys
Yeah.
only, or
Nah.
some of the established
I'm
stars?
gonna
What are we
do.
doing?
I want to do like a smaller Ultimate Madness with some of the new guys.
With like the Crucible
Yeah, but
guys?
like some of the new guys and up and coming guys. But I'm still want to do a major one as well. I'm just trying to do something to raise the bar because the last Ultimate Madness was like 150. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
Mm.
the crowd and the audience is gonna be like, oh my god! Like if you come with 100, they only have 150 this time. They only have 110. Must not be good. You know what I'm saying? So it's like expectation is gonna be it's crazy, man. It's a lot of pressure. You know what I'm saying? And you got to get the right
I
people that
understand.
want to participate and be involved because it's not just the jackpot, but it's we fly people out to numerous events. We pay them every time that they rap, so it's not a cheap thing. You know what I'm saying? So really, it's not just 150,000. It's like us paying people 3 and 4 times. You know what I'm saying to come out and do this and leading up to a big show where they can win. So, I mean, I know, Twerk was saying he wanted to be in Ultimate Madness, like he's like determined to win.
Fire,
Like that's
fire,
already somebody who we getting involved in, and I know T Top wants to do it as well. So, we'll see what
fire.
happens.
Beasley, I appreciate your time. Uh, I want to give you your flowers. Tell you again that we love and salute and respect you. Thank you so much for doing this interview. Um, Can I get a We the Fan shout out? Because I got a Smack shout out. I got everybody else has shouted me out except Beasly. I feel like that, you know what
I
I mean?
got
He'd be
you,
the
man.
only nigga on the
I'm gonna
block.
send you a personalized one from the studio or something.
Like a
Better get ready. I
voiceover.
got you. I will hook you up, man.
All right, Bees. That's my time. Thank you, Bees, for everything. Salute the URL for life.
All right.
Thank you for everything.
Everybody hit Sheed Happens right now on Twitter and tell him that he's a degenerate.
I'm gonna clip that out.
Okay? He's a Maryland
No, hey
slime
Bees.
ball.
No, really though, people
Him,
need to see you more. Like
him,
you funny as hell.
listen, man.
People don't know because they only
Him,
see you when you being
him,
dead serious.
New Jersey Twerk, and Ryder. 3 slime balls. Hit them on Twitter right now. Tell them I call them degenerate slime balls.
Oh, this is gonna be on the blogs by tomorrow.
Nah, those are my brothers, man. I'm just messing around. But yo, let's shout them out though, man.
Nah, for sure. Salute to everybody, man. Thank you for your time, Bees. I'm into this space.
All right, fellas. I'll talk with y'all soon. Tomorrow,
Peace.
Outside 3, Loaded Lux and Rum Nitty on YouTube. Outside 3 on the URL TV app. Become a member right now at urltv.tv. URL
Let's
TV,
get it.
the worldwide leaders of MC battle culture. You can't copy respect.
Yeah.